Hello and welcome. I am Reverend Jeffrey Meyer, preacher, teacher, and apostle to Surrey Central City Church, and your host for Spirit and Life Radio. It is my pleasure to be with you today, and today we're going to enter into lesson number 8 of our Radio School of Ministry, dealing a death blow to one of Satan's deadliest strategies, that is stress. Well, stress is public enemy number 1, and in the midst of a world plagued by stress, you can have God's supernatural peace covering your mind, and that's what we want to think about in today's lesson. Have you ever faced circumstances and problems that were so complex and difficult that you reached a point where you were overwhelmed, unable to cope, and almost in a point of giving up? The great prophet Elijah did. He reached a point where he was discouraged and depressed. He was battle-weary and ready to give up. He sat down under a tree and prayed that he might die. He said, "I've had enough, Lord. Take my life. I'm no better than my ancestors." 1 Kings chapter 19, verse 4 in the NIV translations. Well, like Elijah, you may have been going through a season when you have been attacked on every hand, and you have said, "I've had it, Lord. I've had enough. I'm worn out from the battle, and I just don't think I can take it anymore." Well, I want you to get ready today. Your breakthrough, my friend, is on the way. God is going to release new strength into your inner man, and you are going to rise up stronger than you ever thought possible. He is going to bring you into a new dimension of His power, whereby you will be able to face the onslaught of the enemy and laugh in his face. One thing is for sure, we must not be ignorant of Satan's strategies against us. Back in Lesson 6, I began sharing with you 7 major obstacles blocking Christians from walking in the fullness of His power and living a life of total victory. We have dealt a death blow to 3 of those strategies. Number 1 was fear. Number 2 was unbelief. And number 3, confusion. Well, in this lesson, we're going to deal with one of the deadliest strategies Satan is using today to attack Christians and keep them living in a cycle of defeat. This strategy is one of the most deadly because the majority of Christians have failed to recognize it as one of Satan's strategies. They have considered it as a sign of the times or a natural force which we have no control over. Beloved, we must not be ignorant of Satan's strategies, schemes, and weapons. The Apostle Paul told the believers in the Corinthians church, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Dear friends, it's important for us to assess the battlefield. There are many Christians going from one battle to another, not gaining any spiritual territory, and living in a cycle of defeat because they have been ignorant of Satan's schemes. They have failed to recognize the strategies he is using to weaken and defeat them. Satan has been using a deadly strategy to paralyze Christians and trap them in a vicious cycle where their minds are tormented by fear and worry, and their bodies are weakening and made susceptible to disease. And as a result, they are unable to resist his attacks and release their faith to receive the answers they need from the Lord. Now, on any battlefield, ignorance is deadly. A lack of knowing the enemy, his strength, movements, and tactics makes the soldiers vulnerable to deadly attacks. The same is true in spiritual warfare. We cannot afford to be ignorant of the methods Satan will use to try to weaken and defeat us. The first step in the process is to recognize stress as one of Satan's weapons to defeat you. Satan's strategy we are exposing in this lesson is stress. You may be thinking, Brother Jeffrey, I thought stress was just a natural force that everyone must learn how to live with because of the age we are living in. The truth is, although we live in a world where stress has become public enemy number 1, we must never accept it simply as a natural force that we have no control over. God has planned that in the midst of a world plagued with stress that we will have His peace covering us, even in times of great distress, when everything around us is being shaken. Satan's strategy is to attack you through your circumstances, through sickness, financial problems, problems in your marriage, problems with your children, problems on your job, and all these create stress. However, you must never forget, none of the circumstances, trials, and tribulations you face are responsible for creating stress in your life. Remember, it is how you react to your circumstances, trials, and tribulations that will either release God's peace or activate stress in your life. Now, the first step you must take in dealing a death blow to stress is to recognize that it is more than just a sign of the times or a major contributing factor of disease. You must not accept it as a natural force that you have no control over. It is a weapon Satan will use to defeat you and keep you living in a vicious cycle of discouragement and defeat. Satan will use stress to attack your entire being. With every circumstance God allows to come into your life comes the provision for total victory. Well, let's expound on that a little bit. In response to the mounting pressures in the world today, the threat of terrorism, economic pressures, political turmoil, along with the day-to-day pressures of providing the basic necessities for their families, people's minds are being filled with fear, and as a result are experiencing the effects of stress. The word stress is used to refer to outside forces that place a demand upon you, such as a stressful job, a prolonged illness, stressful situations, or confrontation with other people. Stress often results because of major changes people experience: a change in jobs, death of a loved one, divorce, unemployment, and other major life changes. These outside forces and circumstances trigger a response from within us. Now, under stress, harmful processes take place in the heart. Excessive lipids, which is fat, are produced in the blood. Prolonged stress tears down the walls of the arteries in the heart. The body reacts by laying down cholesterol plaques to repair the damage. If the stress continues for an extended period of time, the cholesterol continues to build up and the arteries become more and more narrow until they are hardened. The hardened arteries restrict the blood flow, which demands higher blood pressure in order for the heart to pump the blood to the rest of the body. This creates more pressure on the walls of the arteries, which results in more damage and more excessive production of cholesterol. This is the vicious cycle that is a result of stress, which leads to heart disease, heart attacks, and strokes. Not only does stress affect the heart, it also wears down your immune system and increases your susceptibility to almost every disease. Stress-induced or stress-related diseases include tuberculosis, multiple sclerosis, leukemia, diabetes, and hypoglycemia, and is the root cause of many other sicknesses. 90% of all headaches are caused by prolonged contraction of the neck muscles, which is a result of stress. Step 2 requires that you refuse to react to your circumstances according to your natural understanding, but in the power of God's Spirit. When Satan attacks you through your circumstances, it triggers a response within you. The second step in demolishing and destroying stress is to recognize stress as part of Satan's strategy against you, and refuse to react to your circumstances according to your natural understanding, but in the power of the Holy Spirit. The Father never promised that you would never face circumstances where your faith would be tested and tried. There will be circumstances you face that will push you to a point where you feel like you are at the end of your rope, with no possible answer in sight and no end to the problem. It is during those times God desires to strengthen and perfect your faith. Jesus made it clear. He said that as long as we are in the world, we would have tribulation. But he didn't stop there. He never intended for you to be overcome or overwhelmed by even the most devastating circumstances. Instead of stress, the Lord intends for you to be covered with his peace. In his last moments with his disciples, Jesus told them, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. It is with those words I leave you today. Well, that concludes this portion of lesson number 8, and we'll continue into the next half in the next broadcast. Dear friends, if you'd like more information about the church and the ministry, please go to our website at www.surreycitychurch.com. If you'd like to book me as a evangelist or special guest speaker, or you'd like to send a note, please send your email to surreycentralcitychurch@gmail.com, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you have Twitter, you can add us, Surrey Central City Church, or my personal Twitter, Jeffrey Meyer. Now, today I'm going to do something special. I have a book by Sid Roth, They Thought for Themselves. Over 2 million copies in print. And today, I'm going to give this away for free to anybody who goes up to my Facebook fan page, Spirit and Life Radio on Facebook, that page, and you click on like. And I'm going to give this away to the 100th person who gives me a like. And if you will go up there and click like and then send me a note stating you heard it on the radio with your mailing address included, I'm going to send you this book free of charge. It's my way of just saying thank you for listening. Again, all you need to do is you can do a web search, Spirit and Life Radio, Facebook, and you will find my fan page. If you'd like to visit our Sunday service, it is held at 10:30 a.m. in the brand new Chuck Bailey Recreation Center, just south of the Gateway SkyTrain station, and just north of the BC Line's training facility on the corner of Park City Way and 107 Avenue in Surrey. Very easy to find, just down from the Gateway SkyTrain station, less than a block. We're having a wonderful time. Many new people are coming in as a result of this new time slot, and I'm really looking forward to seeing all of you again who are beginning to attend Surrey Central City Church. We are a new church in the area, and we know that there are many people looking for a healthy, well-balanced, Spirit-filled church. And so we welcome you to come and enjoy a fabulous time together. I can't say enough about last week's service and some of the people that came in that I met. Beautiful people, God-loving people. And I'm really excited about what God is doing in Surrey. Finally, if I may, I'd like to ask you for your support. This is a listener-supported broadcast. And so please, you can write to us and or send your donations on the Canadian side. Spirit Life Radio, suite number 491, 7360, 137th Street, Surrey, BC, V3W1A3. That is suite number 491, 7360, 137th Street, in Surrey, BC, V3W1A3. And on the U.S. side, Spirit and Life Radio, P.O. Box 737. P.O. Box 737, Ferndale, Washington, 98248. Ferndale, Washington, 98248. Also, we have a new donate button that will take you to a secure PayPal website, and you can donate there from our website at surreycitychurch.com via your debit or credit card, and that is a sure way to get your offering into our ministry in a quick, hassle-free way. If you're writing in or sending your donation on the Canadian side, please make your checks out to Surrey Central City Church and write Spirit and Life Radio in the memo section of your check so we can designate it to this ministry. And on the U.S. side, write your checks to Spirit Life Worship Center, Spirit Life Worship Center, so we may receive all of you properly who give. And we want you to know, we do appreciate your help in keeping us on the air. Now remember, friends, it is the Spirit who gives life. The flesh profits nothing. The words that I speak to you are spirit, and they are life. Spirit and Life Radio, your spirit-filled connection.